This is one of my favorite trap rooms to use on my players. It is a dynamic sandbox of a trap with many different avenues to solve it. So without further ado, let's flip traditional traps on their head with the reverse gravity room. When your D&D party enters this room, they see a room 20 feet long and 15 feet wide. At the other end of the room, there is a doorway leading to the next part of the dungeon, castle ruins, or wherever you're placing this room. Along the floor down the middle of the room, there is a trail of blue tiles. The tiles do 1d4 lightning damage per round when stepped on, and of course adjust the damage as necessary so that your group is challenged. There are 5 tiles in total moving across the floor in this room. Finally, when you're about to enter this room, a character can see that there are spikes on the ceiling, about 20 feet up. From their vantage point, characters can see that there are skeletons in these spikes. Now, most savvy D&D players are going to go, oh, that's a ceiling spike trap, it's going to fall on me, and so they're going to play around that. However, outside of the blue tiles, the room is affected by a reverse gravity spell. So instead of the spikes falling down, a player will fall up. When running for a lower level party, I like to make it so the spikes do 2d8 piercing damage. But now, how is a D&D party supposed to solve this encounter? Well, there are a few ways. Firstly, they can just brute force this room. They can go running through the spikes and take all the lightning damage that they want. But usually a D&D party is going to want to do something better. That something better can come in many different forms, maybe by trying to avoid lightning damage, floating over the tiles to avoid the anti-gravity. Really, the creativity of your party is what's limiting them. If party members get caught in the reverse gravity field and fall into the spikes, that's good too. And they can just make their way across the ceiling and then climb back down on the other side. You know, the penalty for this is the damage. However, one of my favorite things to do with this trap is to hide a special item in the dungeon. Maybe amulets hidden among the skeletons of long dead guards. And while you have this special item on, the blue tiles will not shock you. This makes the dungeon feel more alive, like everything is linking together, and also if your players figure it out, it will make them feel smart and special. One last devious trick. Hide a magic item among the spikes on the ceiling, and make sure it's a magic item that the party members would know. An obvious +1 longsword or a magic staff, for instance. Now the party can weigh risk and reward as they decide, maybe we want to go up to the spikes and get that, but again, it's the potential of them suffering a little bit more damage as they walk through the dungeon. This room is great to put before a boss fight because it will whittle down player health, resources, spell slots, etc. Now, if you actually want a boss battle to go along with this encounter, I suggest checking out this video right here. And also, thank you for entering the dungeon.